I conceive or my periods are normal. I have more than 10 patients every month who suffers from cancer.
Eating ghee increase your weight.
In Ayurveda, we have 7 dhatus, 7 systems: Ras, Rakta, Mas, Meda, Asti, Majja, Shukra. Due to PCOS, to thyroid, cancer. The one common reason behind all of it is.
Hi Diksha, welcome to the Unmasked podcast by Skin Yoga. We are so glad to have you here.
Thank you
Can
so
you
much.
can you tell us what you do?
Okay, so it's been 8 years now that I have been practicing Ayurveda, and post COVID, so it's been 4 years that I have been practicing online. So I consult patients across the globe and exclusively for Ayurvedic consultation. And I write blogs, I make videos on exclusive Ayurveda.
Okay, and why do you do?
You know, nothing makes me more satisfied than doing what I do. This is something that gives me more contentment than a prayer. Every single day, I receive one text from a patient anywhere saying that I conceived, or my periods are normal, or
Oh, wow.
simple things like I lost weight, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling light, my hair fall stopped. So it gives me so much contentment. Like every morning I wake up and there's an email or there's a text, and I don't want to stop doing this ever.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, similar for us also at Skin Yoga when we have programs and then
Yeah.
where we teach them how using Ayurveda they can improve their condition. And
Lovely.
when like in a week or 10 days they're like, oh, my acne is, I don't have acne anymore or my hair fall has stopped. We're like,
True.
oh my God, we're making a difference. We're
Yes.
really empowering people and that empowers you.
true,
So I
true.
completely agree and I can feel, what you're feeling. And thank you for doing that because we need more people like you to spread the science of Ayurveda and make it more practical.
Yes, that's very important because there are certain things in Ayurveda which is not relatable now.
Yeah.
Not everybody can eat their dinner by 5 or 6.
Yes.
So we need to make it doable so that everybody can follow.
Right. So tell me, what is the purpose of Ayurveda?
Okay, so Ayurveda has two main purposes. First is swasthasya, swasthya rakshanam. That means to take care of people who are already healthy. So to prevent disorders. And second is Atvarasya Vikara Prashamanam. Atvar means patient, Vikara means disease, Prashaman means to heal. So Ayurveda works on these two things. First is prevention, second is curative. It works on helping people maintain their health, and also for the people who have disorders, it works on helping them heal in a way that the disease never reoccurs. That's very
Okay.
important.
ग्रेट सो क्या आपने आयुर्वेदा पढ़ा है आपका इंटरेस्ट कब जागा आयुर्वेदा में और आपने क्या पढ़ा है
Okay, so I studied Ayurveda. The reason why I chose Ayurveda because I couldn't get into MBBS.
Oh, wow.
Everybody's story. I remember we had 50 students in my class. Each and everybody said the same thing. I couldn't get into an MBBS, so I'm choosing Ayurveda. But now I believe that Ayurveda chose me because I graduated in 2016, and that was when I got diagnosed with Hashimoto's. It's an autoimmune thyroid disorder. That changed everything because I remember we used to have when I was in my med school second year, we had this subject called Swastha Vritta where we were taught yoga, preventive measures and everything. So I used to bunk all the classes. I did not like yoga. I was not at all like this, and I attended a few classes, 2 to 3, just for the attendance. And when this hit, I couldn't sleep for 2 nights straight. I mean, like, autoimmune, like, I was completely fine. I was leading a good lifestyle. I was happy. How come? So after that, I began my practice in almost 2017, the start of 2017. And from that day itself, I remember I started waking up at 4 in the morning. I used to do yoga until 7. I learned.
Oh,
I learned. And just in 1 month, I remember. So when I got diagnosed with thyroid, my TSH was 28. In 1 month, it was 14. It was shocking. I left gluten. I only ate ghar ka khana, nothing outside. And that brought my faith into Ayurveda that this is something that can change and I do not have to pop pill forever.
wow
I mean, I must have consulted more than 500 thyroid patients until now. And none of them knew that you can live without a pill.
Oh my God. And they're all off the pill now?
Yes, most of them, most of them.
Oh my God, that's
So,
amazing.
It's really beautiful, and that is why, you know, my faith was like, really, this is something, you know, we can work on. And be it thyroid or cholesterol, diabetes, PCOS, all of them have the root in insulin resistance.
Oh my God.
So-
When you say that, I'm getting goosebumps. Just hearing about your success cases, it's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Wow. Okay. What, according to you, are few Ayurvedic rituals that you think everybody must follow?
Okay. So to begin the day with, everybody does brushing, tongue scraping. One thing everybody should include is oil pulling. I mean, most of people now know about oil pulling, and people think that it is something that's great for oral health. But research, there are few researchers that even says that oil pulling even improves your mental health. It improves the glow on your face. It improves, you know, everything. Just it makes you more mindful and more focused. So oil pulling is one thing I would say. Then another thing, this especially for this season, winter, is abhyangam.
Okay.
So that is self-oil massage. So let's say before you start your exercise, you should massage your body with either sesame or mustard oil. Why? Because first, when you exercise out in the sun, it will help you absorb vitamin D because it's fat. It helps in absorption. And second, whenever you do any kind of movement, you know, so what Ayurveda says is vyayam means exercise. And the definition of vyayam is anything that makes you tired is
Yeah.
vyayam.
Okay.
So when you get tired, when you do rigorous movement, there is increase of vata in your body.
Right.
And that can give you pain. And because you'll do abhyanga before exercise, you can prevent pain.
Oh, because it oils your joints
yeah,
also.
yes, yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It also
completely.
improves your muscle strength. So
Yes.
abhyangam is another thing I would suggest. Then Vajrasana after meals. I mean, you won't believe. I have had a few patients, you know, who told me that we have tried everything, nothing worked. We'll have to pop Pantop or any other medication like that. They started sitting in Vajrasana after meal and they don't have bloating.
Wow. I think, this is something that I don't do. I do the first two, very
Okay,
honestly.
okay.
But the third one, I don't do, but I think I should do it. I've
It's
lived in
miracle.
Japan for a bit,
Wow.
and that's the norm there. They sit in Vajrasan,
Oh my God, that's so
like, for
beautiful.
hours.
Wow, that is why they are very healthy. You know, it's the first-hand experience because my mother-in-law, she has a poor gut health, and whenever we go out or even if we eat ghar ka khana, if it's late, she'll have to pop some Ayurvedic pills. And it's been almost 6 months. Even wherever we are, you know, they just visited Dubai last month. She was sitting in Vajrasan right after meals, even there.
Wow.
I'm like, she has so much faith in it. She doesn't pop any pill anymore.
Wow.
Just because of this simple thing.
That's amazing. So, are you saying that Vajrasan also helps with gut health?
Oh, yes. Why? Because when you sit in that posture, the blood circulation in your abdomen improves.
Yeah.
And that's what we need right after our meal.
So, you don't need to have those gut supplements and pills and...
No. So, until and unless it's necessary, I wouldn't suggest even a single probiotic. Like, so, you know, any patient I consult for first 21 days, I never give medications.
Yeah.
So what we can do is sitting in Vajrasan, and another thing that I would suggest everybody to do is sipping on this herbal teas. Ayurveda exclusively suggests to sip on herbal teas between your meals, so between your breakfast and lunch or lunch and dinner.
Helps in digestion.
So that works.
Yeah.
It's different for everybody, but
Yeah.
you know, CCF is a general tea, works for everyone. Cumin, coriander, fennel.
Oh.
You just boil it.
Oh, can we have that again? CCF?
Yeah, CCF, it's equal quantity of cumin, coriander and fennel.
Oh.
You mix it, boil it in a glass of water until it reduces to half. Strain and sip on it.
Wow.
Anytime, anywhere, and everybody can drink it.
Oh, amazing. So even like a 5-year-old?
Kids.
Yeah,
even
they can?
kids can have
Oh.
it. I mean, it's dhania jeera soft.
Okay.
It's something that we use every day in our cooking.
Wow, I think we should definitely do this.
And it's even tasty. You can definitely see if somebody is having massive bloating, we can add tad bit of ajwain. If somebody has heaviness in abdomen, we can add tad bit of mint. If somebody has pitta prakriti where they are acidic, we can add tad bit of dhania leaves.
Okay.
So it can be personalized, but
Okay.
CCF is a, you know, something,
Generic.
it works for everybody.
Wow, amazing. And since you consult so many patients and you speak to so many people on a daily basis, what according to you is the most common health problem today?
Okay. So I would say it's insulin resistance.
Okay.
I mean, I have more than 10 patients every month who suffers from cancer.
No.
Yes. It could be PCOS, it is diabetes, it is thyroid, and it's cancer. Like today, my husband called me saying that one of our relative, he got diagnosed with cancer. I mean, it is as common as fever nowadays. Like,
Don't say that. It's
yeah,
scary.
why? Because all these common issues from obesity to PCOS to thyroid, cancer, the one common reason behind all of this is stress. I mean, stress can quicken your aging. Exercise, I mean, this is a fact. Very less people know about this. So, if you exercise rigorously, intensive exercise can quicken your aging.
Yeah.
So, and what I understand, I mean, I have consulted almost 25,000 patients until today. And stress is common among everybody suffering from autoimmune disease.
But how do you gauge, whether they have stress and all? Because if that becomes like a routine, right? They're like, I mean, this is how I react, this is how I think, this is how I go to sleep. I don't know, I'm not stressful, this is normal. So how do you, as an expert, diagnose that this person is living a stressful life?
Okay. So first, when I talk to them,
Yeah.
it is something, I mean, it is subtle, but we can understand because I have seen a lot of patients, the way they talk, if they are making eye contact or not.
Okay.
And another thing is stress, as you said, it's so common. I mean, if somebody is not stressful, then we are like, how on earth?
Yeah.
Like, I have a stressful job,
Oh.
and stress is not just, you worrying constantly about something. Let's say you are eating when you're not hungry. That is stress for your gut.
Oh.
You are not able to sleep in spite of being sleepy. That is stress for your body.
Oh.
So different, financial stress, emotional stress, physical stress, all kinds of stress.
Okay, and according to you, this is the primary cause for cancer?
Not just for cancer, but also for autoimmune disorders, or call it thyroid, call it PCOS, everything. And a lot of patients that I have consulted also have told that they had been suffering from childhood trauma.
Yeah.
A lot of them. I mean, most of them.
Yeah.
Sometimes, this is one patient, we just ended consultation last week. It's been 6 months she was with me. And on our last call, she told me that, I had childhood trauma. And she told me that the meditation and, even a few Ayurvedic herbs and everything has helped her. Just let it be, it's still,
come to terms with it.
Yes. Sometimes we cannot let things go, but it's okay to let it be.
Yeah.
And stop letting it affect you.
Right. No, so tell me, like, I could be living a stressful life.
Yes.
Right? But I don't think I am. You know what I'm saying? I could be in denial. I don't know.
True.
So for someone like that, who's been living the life they've been living for years, what is it that they can do to bring down any stress if they have?
Okay. So first I would say is to slow down, which is very difficult. It's a task. I mean, specifically even for me, because I'm a Vata dominant, so I need to multitask. Otherwise, I'm like, I'm not doing enough, So waking up in the morning while everybody else is sleeping, let's say Brahma Muhurat, or if not even that, just half an hour earlier. Introspection can help, journaling, affirmations. That can actually help you understand what's the purpose of your life. Same thing at night, bedtime. Let's say don't use gadgets an hour, at least 30 minutes before you go to bed. If you don't use gadgets, maybe practice journaling, do pranayamas.
Yeah, no, absolutely. These are easy, free remedies that you could do it.
Definitely.
Yeah, popular misconception people have about food.
A lot, yes. So the one which I started understanding only when I came into Ayurveda was curd.
Okay.
Everybody says acidity hai dahi kha lo. I mean, I thought dahi is actually cooling, but dahi is inflammatory. It is heating in nature, and because it is sticky, in Ayurvedic language we call it abhishandi. That means it is something that is slimy and clogs your channels.
Okay.
So if you do dahi on a regular basis, that can even lead to diabetes. It can make you gain unhealthy weight.
Okay.
It is also something that's inflammatory, so anybody suffering from autoimmune disorder should avoid it.
Okay.
But let's say there are a lot of people who consume dahi considering it as protein-rich food. You can do it, but just change the processing. So instead of dahi, have chas. So you add tad bit of water, you blend it, you add tad bit of masala, and it will be easy on your gut.
Okay.
And dahi, chas is not as heating as dahi.
Oh.
And it's easy on the gut. Dahi is difficult to digest.
Okay, but tell me one thing. You're from Gujarat,
Yeah.
right? I've lived there for some
Wow.
time. So I know that chas is with every meal. In
Every
every
meal.
household they have
Yeah.
chas because they believe that it's so hot in Gujarat.
True.
The chas will help them cool this down.
That's
But
true.
now what he's saying is so contradictory to that.
Yeah. So the thing is, processing. You know, we all say that processed food is bad for health,
Yes.
so we should avoid. Now in Ayurveda, we call processing as sanskaras. Sanskar, okay? So when you change curd to buttermilk, you're adding water. Let's say you take a bowl of dahi, you add 6 bowls of 6 times water and you blend it. So that is sanskar done on dahi, which changes its potency
Oh,
from hot to
amazing.
not so hot.
Oh, but is it cooling or no?
It's not cooling.
No.
But it's not neither heating
Oh,
nor
got
cooling.
it. It becomes neutral.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you add more water, you add a bit of mishri, it will be cooling.
Cooling, understood. Mishri. Mishri is
Yeah.
another ingredient that is my favorite when it comes
Yes.
to healing.
A lot.
So please tell me more about what is mishri.
So again, you know, mishri. Different people consider different things as mishri, but what I meant is rock sugar.
Yes.
You know, rock sugar. I mean, it is so cooling. If we talk about sugar and rock sugar has vitamins. Sugar has nothing other than calories, and it's inflammatory. Rock sugar isn't. And it's natural form of sugar, just like jaggery.
Yeah.
But again, jaggery and rock sugar are two different things. You cannot, you know, replace each other because jaggery is heating in nature, can be consumed more in winter, leads to weight gain. Mishri is cooling in nature, doesn't lead to weight gain. If consumed, you know, in normal quantity,
Yeah.
in balance.
Right. Okay. And what, according to you, is the best way to start your day?
Okay. So in order to start your day, first thing I would say is wake up early. You know, you cannot just wake up at 9 and then do anything healthy. It's not going to work. So better to wake up either in Brahma Muhurat, if not by 7. And then definitely, as I said, you know, I would say that apart from Ayurvedic rituals like, you know, brush, tongue scrape,
Yeah.
oil pull and Abhyangam, best to start your day with Surya Namaskars because as I said, you know, I got diagnosed with hypothyroid.
Yes.
And I gained 17 kgs
Wow.
just by walking 10,000 steps every day and 12 Surya Namaskars. It helped me lose that weight.
Oh, wow.
And I felt most healthiest when I lost that weight. You know,
Oh.
because when I was diagnosed, I lost all that glow on my face. My hair was so dry. I lost hair like anything. I remember this one fine day after my shower, it was this much hair
Oh
in
my
my shower,
God.
and I was crying like anything. I
Oh my
cried
God.
like anything, and my parents were like, "It's gonna get better. We'll show
Oh.
to the doctor." And I'm like, "I am the doctor.
Oh, how
Who
can
do
this
I
happen
go?
to me?
Yes, like how come?" And you know,
Yeah.
that's when, you know, I started doing
Oh.
Surya Namaskars every day, pranayamas. If not anything else, then at least Anulom Vilom, that is alternate nasal
Yes.
breathing, and Brahmari.
Wow.
Best for stress, best for reducing the inflammation, and great for, you know, mindfulness.
Yes.
And I believe once we start living mindfully, there's nothing else we need.
I agree. So I did these 2 breathing exercises throughout my pregnancy, and I think it really helped me, you know, go through it and be a happy mom to be.
Beautiful.
And I think everybody should do it. It's so simple again.
You know, one of my patients told me the same thing. She said, I mean, she came to me for secondary infertility. So she has a daughter, 3-year-old. She came to me and I told her to do all of this. And she told me that in my last pregnancy, it was difficult for 6 months. And then she said, I started doing pranayamas and I conceived. And even now, I mean, she's 3 weeks pregnant. Almost, I mean, it's not diagnosed yet.
Okay.
Sorry, it's 5 weeks. She's
Okay.
yet to go for the scan.
Okay.
So, I mean, she said,
Yeah.
once I began, I mean, how simple.
How simple, right? Yeah.
It's amazing. Even one of my patients from Singapore, she has autoimmune disorder, multiple sclerosis. She does Anulom Vilom and Brahmari for 2 hours every day. She's not on any medications.
Oh my
Her
God.
doctor told that you don't have to go for MRI every year now.
Oh.
We can schedule it every 2 years because the disease it was in remission last year.
Okay.
Now it is reversing.
Oh my God.
And
wow.
she is almost 42 right now.
Wow.
This is, I mean, it seems so simple, Anulom Vilom kar lo,
Yeah,
Brahmari kar lo,
yeah.
but when you do it,
It-
that too regularly with faith.
Yeah, with faith.
Wonderful.
I think faith is the word that you need to know that this is going to work.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us, You know, we come across a lot of people who have PCOS, PCOD.
Oh, yes.
What is the, what are few tips that you would give to them?
Okay, so before I suggest what to do, I would like to say what not to do. Because when you have PCOS, 99.9% of the females will gain weight, which they are not able to lose easily. So first, stop doing HIIT. When you do
Okay.
high intensity exercises, so whenever you do any kind of rigorous movement, your body releases cortisol, stress hormone,
Yes.
leads to more inflammation. So that is going to make your disease worse than better. So not to do that. Second, again coming back to dahi, don't do that, because if they start going to gym to lose weight, the gym coach will definitely suggest high protein, and if you do dahi, it's going to be more inflammatory, you'll gain more weight, it's going to be more heating. So instead of that, buttermilk is okay. And third thing, so 50% of my patients who come to me with PCOS, they have been on metformin before.
Okay.
Why? Because it's due to insulin resistance. So don't start metformin right away, because
Okay.
it's easy getting on,
Yes.
but getting off is difficult.
Okay.
So not to,
Okay.
just give into these three things. And what can help is just walking 10,000 steps every day. Simple. It's not like you have to do it right away in the morning. Maybe walk for 30 minutes in the morning, 1 hour after every meal, walk for like 15-20 minutes, and that would be enough.
Okay.
Can walk. And this is one thing which is the major reason of insulin resistance, that is eating at every at every hour. You need to have a gap of at least 3 hours between every meal. Otherwise, it leads to insulin resistance.
Okay.
The sensitivity reduces. So, to keep a gap of at least 3 to 4 hours,
Okay.
then definitely losing weight helps a lot. But losing weight with slow exercises, cardio, yoga, and stuff like that,
Yeah.
processed food we need to stop.
What is your take on dairy?
Okay. So Ayurveda does suggest having milk and milk products. Specifically ghee and chas, the best one. Regarding milk, so I would say no, not to buffalo milk, definitely. But A2 cow milk is definitely something that is anti-inflammatory, and it is something, it's the cow are fed organic food.
Are you saying that A2 milk is anti-inflammatory?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's say, for example, if you have acne and you come to me with, you have PCOS, you have acne, I would still say that go ahead and have your A2 cow milk. It won't harm. But again, it is something that won't even help in healing. That is why initially you see, dietitian, you see nutritionist, you see Ayurvedic, homeopathy, any doctors, they would say that go gluten and dairy free for a few months. I even suggest my patients that no milk, but chas, ghee, sure, go ahead and have it.
Yeah.
Paneer, I would still suggest no, because again, it is processed in a way, and it is very difficult for your gut to digest.
Yes, correct.
And everybody believes that protein is best, very important if you want to lose weight, you want energy, you want growth.
Yeah.
True, but there's one thing we need to learn is we are not what we eat, we are what we digest.
Yeah.
So if you have PCOS or thyroid, or let's say you're just obese or you're stressed, let's say any problem you have, that means your gut health is poor. If you are going to be eating a lot of protein supplements or even protein rich foods, you won't be able to digest.
You'll be making your gut more stressed.
100%.
And it won't be able to handle it, and it'll create more disease for your body.
Yes.
Okay, what according to you is the miracle ingredient to include in your diet, and why?
It's ghee. There's nothing that's better than ghee, and it works in every way. Let's say you eat it as food, you take it as a medication, you apply it on your face. You must have known about Ayurvedic Shatdhatigrit ghee that is washed 100 times.
Yes.
My God, it's miracle. You apply it on your hair. I remember my husband telling me this. He had this patient, he was a cancer patient, was undergoing chemotherapy and lost a lot of hair. My husband asked him to apply ghee on his scalp every night, and that reduced his hair fall to 50%.
Yeah.
I never suggested this until I knew this, and it works in every single way. And as per Ayurveda, ghee is considered as something that increases your ojas.
Yes.
Ojas is the essence of life, everything, like in Ayurveda we have 7 dhatus, 7 systems: ras, rakta, mas, meda, asti, majja, shukra. So ghee is the ojas of all of this.
Wow.
So if you consume ghee, and let's say if you want to light a lamp, you put in more ghee, the lamp is going to last longer.
Yeah.
So you eat ghee, you'll last longer. Simple.
Okay, does eating ghee increase your weight?
Okay, so that is again a misconception. It's not wrong, but ghee helps in weight gain and weight loss both. So if you consume ghee with that bit of jaggery, with roti, I mean gluten foods, you'll gain weight. With the ghee, you'll gain weight. But just having, let's say, ghee with a glass of warm water in the morning, you'll lose weight. Actually, ghee has this thing, medium chain fatty acids. So that is a thing that converts fat into energy rather than storing it. It
Wow.
also has the CLA, that is conjugated linoleic acid, that helps us not absorb ghee, rather improve that lean muscle mass.
Wow.
So ghee, it's all about quantity. You know,
Yeah.
how you eat with what intention.
Yeah.
And this is one thing that I believe. Whatever intention you eat your food with, it will nourish you that way. You're
Yes.
eating with fear, you'll have bloating. You're eating it with guilt, you'll end up feeling just not okay.
Yeah.
You eat with greed, you'll know how it feels.
Yes.
So how about eating with gratitude and faith?
Yeah, whatever it is, even if it is something that's unhealthy,
Unhealthy,
even
yeah.
even if it's a pizza, like
Yeah.
just eat it with joy.
Yes.
I completely agree
Yes.
with you.
I
Yeah.
tell this to every patient, you
Yeah.
know, let's say you're going for a Christmas
Yeah.
party, have everything you love
Yeah.
with gratitude,
Yeah.
no fear.
Yeah. And you'll not put on weight.
You'll
and I've
not,
seen
you'll
that with
not.
myself. It always happens.
Wow.
I'm never like scared of eating. Even when I
Lovely.
cheat, have cheat meals, I'm not.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's okay. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And one last question. Tell us about one DIY that you do that works for you every single time.
So as I said about CCFT,
Yeah.
which works for 95% of my patients, and there's this another thing specifically for females, that is a period tea. You know,
Okay.
I don't know how I made this up, but few years back, almost 2 to 3 years back, I had this patient who did not get her periods for 9 months,
Wow.
and she was only 19-year-old.
Oh my God.
So I asked her to do Surya Namaskars, exercise, everything,
Yes.
and I asked her to have this one tea.
Yeah.
So let's say take a teaspoon of sesame, kale til, a teaspoon of methi, fenugreek seeds, half a teaspoon of turmeric, and just a small tukda of jaggery.
Okay.
So boil it in a glass of water.
Okay.
Reduce it, boil it until it reduces to half, and sip on it. You can add a bit of lemon for weight
Okay.
loss. She told me she got her periods in 1 week after 9 months
Oh
by
my
sipping on this.
God.
And until now,
Yeah.
I mean, I have a few PCOS patients who actually did not get their first period without a pill. So let's say you're 17, you're 18, you're
Yeah.
19, you still did not get your period.
Wow.
So you'll have to do it through medications. So even for people like that, this tea has worked. So I
Wow.
believe period tea is something that works for most of the people.
Oh my God. So this is treasure. Like if you guys are not getting your period on time, do this and you'll see the magic happen.
I believe that Ayurveda is something that's doable. It's not ancient, and there's a very massive misconception that Ayurveda takes time. It
Yes.
doesn't. I mean,
Absolutely.
so my 90% of patients come to me as a last resort. So
Yes.
they bring me this many files and
Same.
everything. They have gone everywhere.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I mean, the prognosis, you have been suffering from the problem for a very long time.
Yeah.
So it takes some time.
Yes.
But Ayurveda is very quick. I
Yes.
mean, just simple sitting in Vajrasan can
Yes.
help, imagine.
Yes.
And even it has worked for me also. If I'm going out
Absolutely.
and if I'm having heavy meals, I'm sitting in Vajrasan. Simple.
Yeah.
So Ayurveda is something, if you follow it with faith, it always works.
Yeah, and that's true. That's exactly what we have seen. So in our skincare programs and hair care programs, we work with people who've had issues since years. And we are the last people they come to. Right? So I have tried everything, we thought, let us just try this also.
Yeah.
And we're like, welcome. And then they reverse that in 7 days, in 14 days, in 21 days. And most of the times, and still date, even we are in shock. Like,
Wow.
what? It does work, And
It
we are
does.
so happy. I'm like, we're so happy that it is, and it works for 95% of them.
Definitely.
99% of them, I would say. And then you're like, why did you have to go through all that you did before?
Yes.
But we're happy that at least you took a, step of faith. And we
Definitely.
also think that God sends you here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have so much faith in this thing. Every patient, even whenever I connect, I haven't gone anywhere out of India yet, but I have patients from across the globe, and I'm like, how on earth, like, how did I meet you? And I believe that everything is divine,
Yes.
that is the faith I have, and every person we come across, there's always some give and take. It's not always me giving, you
Yes,
know. I mean,
yes.
I learn
So
something from
much.
everybody.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you have an open heart, you give and you take, and there's nothing like giving, taking. It's
Yes.
coexisting.
Definitely, and it's all planned by universe, you
Yes.
know. And I mean, when you begin our conversation, you said why you do, you know what you do.
Yeah.
So I mean, imagine how it feels to be a part of somebody's healing journey. I mean,
Yeah.
they have suffered since ages. It could be something as simple as an acne, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Well, that's not simple, but it is.
Oh,
It
yeah.
means it takes such a toll on people.
emotional.
You know, hair
definitely.
fall, as you said, it did
Yes.
with you. You're like, oh my God, and being a woman, all the more, and how the society is and how we look.
Yes.
It's the end of their world. And
True.
if you can bring a change there, you know, somebody's been fat and,
Being trolled
unhealthy,
like
and,
anything.
there's so much
Yeah.
trolling, and you help them come to the right
That's
health
such-
space in their head, if not body, that
Definitely.
itself makes them feel so good.
It's a blessing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's something that I can't even express. It's a blessing to be part of somebody's healing journey, you know, like
Yeah.
they are never going to forget you.
Yeah. So tell me one, like, few cases I want to give you, and I want to see what would you recommend. So if somebody who's had body acne,
Okay.
like severe body acne,
Okay.
what is it that they could do, consume, apply to get
Okay.
it
So
better?
first, they have body acne. So it's not something that is localized, you know, it's in the entire body. So we need to detox the blood. We need to work on liver. So the first thing we do is we stop sugar. I mean, the processed sugar, they can still have the fruit and
Fruits,
everything,
yes.
not a problem. So first we need to stop sugar. We need to stop fermented foods because again they are heavy on the gut.
Okay.
And a few things, like let's say if you are eating a fruit with your meal or fruit with milk, it leads to skin issues. And these are very common things. When I was young, I used to love a fruit salad. Even now, once in a while, maybe once, twice a year, I do it. But
Yeah.
this is something, if done regularly, it can lead to skin issues. So we need to stop milk, fruits together, having fruit with meal. Now for application, I mean, first I believe that we need to work on internal detox.
Right.
Because I mean, there is where the problem lies. External, you can apply things like aloe vera. You can start using Upton instead of this body washes and all of this.
Neem leaf.
It works like
Yeah.
anything. I mean, for my patients with dandruff, I
Yeah.
ask them to just wash their hair with
Neem
water
water.
boiled with neem.
Yeah, yeah.
It works.
Yeah, yeah.
It's-
No, that's true. Okay, now as per Ayurveda, what is postpartum, and what is it that a woman can achieve during her postpartum?
So, you know, if we talk about Ayurveda specifically suggests all women to rest and not go so fast after, you know, giving a birth to the baby. Because nowadays you see, I mean, you deliver in a month, you're back.
Yes.
You're back to work. So Ayurveda will highly suggest you to slow down. I mean, when you give birth to a baby, you are born. I mean, it's your new birth, you know. So resting is one thing Ayurveda will highly suggest, and not do anything high intensive.
Okay, not high intensity, but for example, during my postpartum, I was confined. You know, I stayed in a room.
Okay.
I didn't do any work.
Alright.
I was always covered. My ears were
Yes,
covered. I
yes.
had a certain diet that I followed. You know, I didn't have many things. You know, because that would leave the pain in the bone. You know, and things like that.
Okay.
And this is all that's been carried on since years. Today, women don't follow that. You know, they rest
Not
at home because
doable.
they're just, you know, feeding
Yeah.
and taking care of their baby and learning the new life, and that's about it. But they do everything else. They head out, you know, all of that. So is there a roadmap for women postpartum in Ayurveda?
Yes, but again, see, as I say, Ayurveda is bio-individual. You know
Okay.
what I would suggest you, I might not suggest your sister. I mean, even if you have a twin sister. But few things, I mean, definitely Ayurveda highly suggests to rest for good 90 days. Rest doesn't mean that no movement. I mean, slow things, you know, try and be slow. More of introspection, more spending time with the baby. So, you know, that also reduces the risk of, you know, being not able to produce enough breast milk and
Yes,
all of it.
yes.
So, and oxytocin, everyone knows, you know,
Yes.
the more oxytocin you have, you won't have a problem, you know,
Yes.
lactation. And your body releases oxytocin even when you look at that baby, you know, playing and everything. So spending more time and eating foods rich in ojas, as I said,
Okay.
dates, almonds, ghee, even Suvarnaprashan is one thing that I suggest all my patients who are trying to conceive, who are pregnant, and even postpartum, because Suvarnaprashan contains these three things: equal quantity of gold, ghee and honey are in unequal quantity, because if you mix ghee and honey together, it becomes
It's
toxic.
poisonous, yeah.
Yeah, it's viruddha.
Yeah.
So when these three, I mean, you talk about honey. I mean, the older the honey is, the better it is.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Same thing about ghee. So cancer can be healed
Yes.
just by ghee.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a case, but there are people who believe that, and 75-year-old, 100-year-old ghee is preserved.
Yeah,
There
we
are-
do that.
Oh, wow.
And my mother has ghee which is like now 60 years old, and she
That is
preserves it like, you know, like she gives it only when we are like just about to, like she thinks that she's going to lose a child. She takes some and say that, okay, now you can apply it on the feet
True.
or on your chest, and
Yeah,
it's magic.
yeah.
It's miracle.
It does, it does.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you do more of things like that, it works. But second thing, my mother-in-law, you know, she everybody in my house is a doctor.
Oh.
So she must have delivered 20,000 babies in her career, right?
Now we know where
every
the
single
population
night.
of India is coming from.
Literally. But you know, she told me always that, you know, in village, because we are based
Yeah.
out of a village, she
Yes.
said that women after delivery they are fed like a lot,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
but they gain a lot of weight.
Yes.
That is not healthy.
That's not
you know?
healthy. Absolutely.
So you have to be active, not in a way that, you know, you have to start working in the
Yeah,
kitchen
yeah.
and something, but yoga is a must during and even post delivery.
Postpartum. Yeah. No.
That is important. You eat kapha enriching foods, you know. So
Yeah.
kapha means, I mean, because you have delivered lot of movement, lot of changes, vata is activated.
Yeah.
So to balance it, you need to eat things that are high in kapha, like as I said, like ghee, almonds, your dates,
Yeah.
foods made out of gond and everything.
Yes.
So that is healthy, but again,
Not overdoing it. We're like,
overdoing
oh,
is
the
a
more you do,
problem.
the
Yeah,
better.
yeah,
The more
yeah,
you
yeah.
do, the better.
And then the weight you gain,
Yeah.
you're not able to lose easily,
Yeah.
and then that
the
also
cycle
reduce-
starts.
Yes.
Yeah, the
yes.
cycle of diseases start.
And with that, few patients had come to me saying that I gained a lot of weight, now I'm not getting my periods. So it's PCOS. Can you imagine? The patient did not had hormonal imbalance before. Post delivery, she has it. Like that is sad.
Yeah.
So everything needs to be in moderation. Moderation is the key.
Yeah.
I mean, even if nectar you're going to drink more,
Yeah.
you'll have indigestion
Yeah.
because it's heavy.
Yeah. True.
So moderation is the key.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. I think this was such an insightful conversation with you, and thank you for coming on our podcast
Thank you so
and
much.
sharing
It's an
your
honor.
wisdom with everybody. They're gonna love it, and I'm so excited for this to go live
Same
and
here.
coming all the way from Gujarat.
No, I wanted to do this. I know she approached me, and you know, it was my husband. He's like, "Go ahead." I mean, I used to say no to everybody. It's been 4 years because I mean, it doesn't fit in my schedule.
Okay.
And my husband is like, "Go." I mean, you should
Yeah.
explore. He cannot come because we have a hospital. You know,
Okay.
he cannot leave.
Okay.
So it's only me, and I
Wow.
want to go everywhere with him.
Okay,
You know?
yeah.
Because he's more like my mentor.
Oh.
If you talk about Ayurveda, I see 50 patients every month. He sees 50 patients every day.
Oh wow.
So
And he cures them through Ayurveda?
yes, not exclusive because
Yeah.
as I said,
Some
we have a
people do
hospital.
need- yeah.
It's but you know, we actually have a brand, the Kadamba Tree.
Okay.
That's the name of the brand,
Okay.
and it's exclusively for diabetes medicines,
Oh,
Ayurvedic
okay,
herbs.
okay.
And I have seen him heal 50 patients with gangrene. So you come to him with a diabetic wound where the doctor has said that you need to, you know, incise
Oh.
that. It cannot stay there. Just with Ayurvedic dressing, you know, the
Oh.
trees, because we have a farm, you know, we
Oh,
grow herbs and
wow.
everything. So dressing just with Ayurvedic things,
Wow.
and it's being healed.
Oh wow. It's amazing. It's
It's-
miraculous. I
It's
think
unbelievable, you know.
you know
when
how yoga took over the world?
yes.
Ayurveda has been spoken about, but I think it's not given the right way. And I
Yeah.
think we have that knowledge and wisdom to pass on to the world. And it's amazing that you know what you're doing, and we're so grateful, you know, for
So much.
having you, you know, study and put
It's-
your time in it. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, and it's an honor to be here.
Thank you.
I would love to be here again and
Oh,
again.
of course, we would love to have you again. Thank you so much.